Coming up on today's Airborne, alphabet groups band together to nominate Bob Hoover for the Wright Trophy. Has the FAA declared war on ECI cylinders? And Bombardier C Series edges closer to test flight. Welcome to Airborne on Aero-TV. I'm Ashley Hale. A veritable who's who in the aviation community have banded together to nominate legendary aviator Bob Hoover for the National Aeronautic Association Wright Brothers Memorial Trophy, an honor that many think is long overdue. Gamma's Pete Bunce sent the nominating committee a letter signed by leaders of an additional 18 major aviation organizations, placing Hoover's name for the nomination. During an airshow career that spanned nearly 4 decades, Hoover built a reputation on his remarkable skills as a pilot and his ability to entertain and inspire audiences. Indeed, during much of the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, a substantial portion of new pilots were inspired to fly, at least in part, by having watched Hoover fly at a local airshow. Hoover's accomplishments are far too extensive to note, but Jimmy Doolittle, a past recipient of the Wright Brothers Memorial Trophy and an aviation legend in his own right, called Bob Hoover, quote, the greatest stick and rudder man who ever lived, end quote. The National Aeronautic Association created the Wright Brothers Memorial Trophy to honor a living American for, quote, significant public service of enduring value to aviation in the United States. The founder and CEO of Savvy Aircraft Maintenance Management and Savvy Analysis, a company that developed a free web-based platform for piston aircraft engine analysis, says in a blog post that the FAA's proposed AD for ECI cylinders is, quote, one of the most unwarranted, inappropriate, punitive, and generally ill-conceived rulemaking actions I've ever seen, end quote. Mike Bush writes on his blog that the failure rate of the cylinders is 0.1%, the lowest in the industry, resulting in no accidents or injuries. Yet the agency has required owners of about 6,000 various Continental engines to perform $14,000 top overhauls. He contends that safety issues that could arise from that number of top overhauls, quote, is vastly greater than the safety risk arising out of doing nothing, end quote. EAA's Type Club Coalition has named a new co-chair. Tom Patton reports.
Sonex CEO Jeremy Monnett is joining American Bonanza Society President Tom Turner as co-chair of the Type Club Coalition, or TCC, according to an announcement Thursday from the EAA. Monnett said his main goals in agreeing to co-chair the TCC are twofold: to increase fleet safety in general and to counter the incorrect assumption that experimental, amateur-built aircraft are not as inherently safe as type-certified aircraft. The Type Club Coalition will help its members establish checklists and other standard operating procedure documents, with the first example and guidance materials being published in September. For Airborne, I'm Tom Patton.
Bombardier's first C Series aircraft, Flight Test Vehicle 1, has obtained Transport Canada's flight test permit, thereby clearing the way for its maiden flight, expected in the coming weeks. This follows a series of pre-flight tests, including low-speed taxi runs. FTV-1 will now proceed with high-speed taxi runs, whereby the aircraft simulates speeds for flight takeoff. Designed for the growing 100 to 149-seat market, the 100% new C Series aircraft family combines advanced materials, leading-edge technology, and proven methods to meet commercial airline requirements. As of June 30th, 2013, Bombardier has booked orders and commitments for 388 C Series aircraft that included firm orders for 177 C Series airliners. 3 weeks of flight testing the advanced Super Hornet demonstrated that the fighter can outperform threats for decades to come, according to Boeing and partner Northrop Grumman, with improvements that make the jet much harder for radar to detect and give it significantly more combat range. Through 21 flights in St. Louis, Missouri and Patuxent River, Maryland, the team tested conformal fuel tanks, an enclosed weapons pod, and signature enhancements, each of which can be affordably retrofitted on an existing Block II Super Hornet aircraft or included on a new jet. These improvements will ensure that the advanced Super Hornet outspaces enemy aircraft and defenses through 2030 and beyond. You're watching Airborne, more in a moment.
Redbird Skyport is a multifaceted aviation laboratory charged with developing innovative solutions to the issues facing the industry.
It started out as a vision for a laboratory where we could objectively measure the systems and the processes that we were developing. Being able to put some objective measures behind the anecdotal evidence that we have about the value of motion and the application of this technology is very, very important, because until we can objectively measure it and play that data back, we can't design training systems that make the best use of it.
For more information about Redbird flight simulations, as well as Redbird's new Skyport, visit www.redbirdflightsimulations.com or www.redbirdskyport.com.
Welcome back. If you'd like to suggest a story for Airborne, Aero-TV, our website, or podcast, drop us an email to news-by@aero-news.net. Boeing on Thursday marked the launch of 787 customer training in Miami, Florida, the site of the company's largest commercial aviation training campus. Aero Mexico and LAN Airlines are the first two customers to train on the 787 suites at the Boeing Flight Services Miami campus. To better serve airlines and meet growing personnel training requirements, two 787 full flight simulators are now located at the Miami campus, as well as an additional next-generation 737 full flight simulator and 717, 747, and 767 simulators. An additional 777 simulator will also come to Miami later this year. The expansion is part of a plan announced in March of 2013 to relocate some training equipment from Seattle to Miami, closer to where customers operate, reducing travel times for airline crews and the cost of sending students for training. EAA AirVenture Oshkosh has set its date for the next 7 years through 2020. While the 62nd annual fly-in convention at Whitman Regional Airport in Oshkosh, Wisconsin will be held on July 28th through August 3rd, future years will schedule the event to run completely in late July. That slight schedule shift affects only 3 or 4 years out of every 7, with a goal of ending on the last Sunday in July each year. EAA says one reason for setting dates early is to avoid as many conflicts as possible, and the intent to start in July as much as possible is to in part accommodate earlier school year starts in many states outside of Wisconsin. NASA recently crashed a Marine CH-46E helicopter on purpose. Okay, crashed is a bit of an overstatement. Actually, they just dropped a fuselage from a height of about 30 feet on Wednesday at Langley's Landing and Impact Research Facility to test improved seats and seatbelts and gather data on the odds of surviving a helicopter crash. Researchers used 40 onboard cameras, as well as onboard computers, and 13 instrumented crash dummies from 350 instrumentation points to record every move of the 10,300-pound aircraft and its contents. Another test will be conducted next summer, and it's hoped the combined results can be used to design better and safer helicopters. Beginning October 1st of 2013, Aircell will expand its in-flight internet service, GoGoBiz, to include voice and test capability using personal smartphones and/or with Aircell's new cabin handsets. GoGo Text and Talk is an exclusive new service that allows passengers to use their own smartphones for calling and texting in flight with their own mobile number. Because the service is 100% software-based it can be added to any standard GoGoBiz equipment package without additional hardware, weight, or installation downtime. Practical for aircraft as small as light jets and turboprops. WestJet has entered into a letter of intent to purchase 65 737 MAX aircraft from Boeing, consisting of 40 737 MAX 8 and 25 737 MAX 7 aircraft, with delivery scheduled to begin in September of 2017. The airline says the move is designed to improve their fleet's fuel efficiency and improve their in-flight guest experience. The airline will substitute 15 of its existing Boeing next-generation 737 aircraft orders currently scheduled to deliver between December of 2014 and 2018, with Boeing 737 MAX aircraft, for a net increase of 50 committed deliveries to its fleet plan. Including this pending order, WestJet's future Boeing 37 aircraft deliveries total 92. Each week, we share with you a sample of an online video one of our viewers found especially entertaining. We call it the Aero Video of the Week. It's hard to find an Aero Video of the Week that has something for everyone, but this one comes close. It's got helos, it's got warbirds, jets, props, and even a cameo by a vintage steerman. Turn up the sound and go full screen as you watch a MH-60M, MH-47G, a Mitchell B-25, and an AT-6 Texan do some nice formation flying. Search YouTube for Night Stalkers, MH-60M, MH-47G, B-25 Mitchell, Steerman Formation Flight. No one knows what really happened on Thanksgiving Eve in 1971, after a man calling himself D.B. Cooper jumped from the rear exit of a Boeing 727 with $200,000 and disappeared into the night. Some say he was killed, others say he lived a long life, but neither he nor most of the money he was given were ever found. The incident is now the subject of an exhibit that will run through January 5th at the Washington State History Museum. Among the artifacts on display are marked bills from the ransom money paid to Cooper, one of the 4 parachutes he demanded before letting the passengers off the plane, and first-person accounts from FBI records. The exhibit also features a mock-up of a 727 cockpit and cabin, along with discussion of the science of skydiving, forensics, and changes made in the airline industry in the wake of the crime. The exhibit will also have interactive shows with an actor impersonating Cooper. Well, that's our program. Remember, you can get comprehensive, real-time, 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories at aero-news.net. And please remember, Airborne is streamed twice weekly and is always online. Join us again this Friday for a new edition of Airborne. I'm Ashley Hale. Thanks for watching.